All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful, and let's be honest, kind of confusing functions in Primavera P6, Update Baseline. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to use it, and more importantly, how to use it without accidentally blowing up your whole project plan.
So picture this. It's a scenario every single project manager has lived through. Your schedule is locked in, your baseline is set, everything's just humming along, and then you get the call. The client's approved a scope change. A brand new activity has to be added. So what do? How do you get this new work into your plan without completely trashing all that valuable performance history you've been tracking?
Before we even think about clicking any buttons inside the software, we got to step back and understand the big picture. We need to get the why before we get to the how. So, what exactly is a project baseline? And why do people treat it like it's so sacred?
You know, the best way to think about your baseline is to imagine it's a ruler. Seriously, it's a fixed, unmoving snapshot of your original plan. You hold this ruler up against what's actually happening to see if you're ahead of schedule, falling behind, or somehow right on track. The whole key here is that if your ruler keeps changing, well, then all your measurements become completely meaningless, right? And that is exactly why the baseline is locked down. It's the official, approved agreement. Any change to it has to go through a formal process. And look, this isn't just some arbitrary software rule. It's the very foundation of good project control. And it's the whole reason we need a special tool that's designed to handle these approved changes without wrecking the original plan. So this brings us to the hero of our story, the tool that was built for this exact problem. When you get an approved change, you don't just throw your ruler in the trash and grab a new one. No way. What you need is a way to carefully, add a new measurement mark to the ruler you already have.
And that's where you got to think of this function like a surgeon's scalpel, not a wrecking ball. It lets you make these precise surgical insertions of new activities right into your existing baseline. This is how you protect the integrity of your original scope while still keeping a meaningful history of your performance.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty. We're going to walk through the #1 reason you'll ever use this feature, adding a new piece of scope to your project after that baseline has already been set in stone.
So here's the high-level roadmap of where we're going. Now, it looks pretty simple, right? 5 easy steps. But I'm telling you, all the magic and all the danger is hiding in step 4. Choosing those options carefully is what makes the difference between a clean, successful update and a total scheduling disaster. Okay, so when you open that Update Baseline dialog box, you need to have a laser focus. You have one mission and one mission only. Add the new activity and its data. That's it. We need to leave everything else, every single part of our original baseline, completely untouched.
This is your prime directive. Checking this box is you telling Primavera, hey, go look at my current schedule, find any activities that aren't in the baseline yet, and pull them in. This is literally how you get your new scope reflected in the baseline.
Now, this next part is just as critical. Sometimes what you don't click is way more important than what you do. There is one specific box in here that you have to avoid like the plague if you want to protect your original plan.
And there it is. By making sure this box is unchecked, you are screaming at Primavera, hands off my original plan. This one little click, or lack thereof, is what stops the software from overwriting all the dates and values for your already approved work, and it keeps that ruler of yours perfectly intact.
And boom, you click OK, and there it is. You'll see it on your Gantt chart. Your new activity now has those yellow baseline bars. The baseline start and finish dates are filled in. It's now officially part of the plan, and you can start measuring its progress right alongside everything else. All right, so you've just mastered the core function. You know how to do the main thing. But now, let's level up. Let's get into a few pro tips that'll help you dodge some common mistakes and really get the most out of this tool. Okay, let's talk about this one little checkbox that trips up so many people. Ignore last update date. By default, P6 only looks for stuff that's changed since the last time you ran an update. But what if you updated costs on Monday and then updated relationships on Wednesday? You could actually miss things. So here's the pro tip. I recommend you always check this box. It forces Primavera to do a full scan for all the changes every single time, which just ensures you get a complete and accurate update.
Now, it's also super important to know the limits of the tool. Update Baseline is powerful, for sure, but it is not a magic wand. It will not update dates that are calculated by the scheduler, things like your early start or your late finish. If you need to update those fields in the baseline, it's a much more involved process. You actually have to restore the baseline, reschedule it, and then set it all over again. Knowing what a tool can't do is just as important as knowing what it can.
And hey, for those of you out there wrestling with those absolutely massive, complex projects, here are a couple of quick performance hacks. Checking Run Optimized can make the update go way faster. Just be aware the trade-off is that it won't give you a detailed error log if something goes wrong. And for the ultimate speed boost, if you can, log in as an admin super user. That can speed things up even more.
So, let's bring it all home. We've gone through the what, the why, and the how. Now let's tie this very specific technical skill back to what this is all about, being a disciplined, effective project manager.
And this really is the final, most important message. The update baseline function is an incredible tool. It's practical, it's necessary, but at the end of the day, it's just a tool. It has to be used in service of a formal, approved change control process. Always remember, the tool enables the process. It never ever replaces it.
So now you have it. You have the skill to keep your project's ruler accurate no matter how much the plan has to change and evolve. You can now confidently measure your performance, you can track your variances, and you can make smart, informed decisions, all because you know your baseline reflects the total, complete, approved scope of your project. Your ruler is accurate. The only question left is, what are you going to measure next?